A hit is a hit when they say so. They can take umdogo wengoma and make it play every day on radio, and they can kill a beautiful song. So at the same time, you must understand, Uguti, I've been listening to nonsense for the past 10 years, if not 20. Umdogo wengoma, but they are hits because they are played on radio.
Welcome to the master class. Welcome to the master class. Yo, you don't even have to ask. You're all welcome to the master class as we hatch the past, present while we craft a path from a shared truth.
Welcome to the Masterclass podcast. My name is Rashid K. I'm Rashid K. The original article done.
Yeah.
You see me?
Mm-hmm.
This is episode 40.
Damn.
The big 4-0. And we have a live audience today.
Wow. Shut up, man.
And
another episode of the Masterclass podcast. I go by the name of OG triple OG Samke. One nigga, head nigga in charge is what we do every single Friday. We're out here. We're back again. This is episode 40, man. We've pushed, man.
yeah, episode 40.
We've worked quite hard, Dougie. Like we should, can we get a round of applause, please, guys? Come on. We got a live crowd out here. Stats say most podcasts don't go past episode 3.
Episode 3.
So we've
We're on
pushed
40,
quite a bit.
bro.
We've pushed quite hard, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you been? I mean, are you Ramadaning?
I'm done Ramadaning.
Really?
Yeah.
So now you're back to your usual self, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Ramadan is not only about food. People think, hey, you guys don't eat for this long. It's about discipline. You don't swear, you don't listen to swearing music,
What?
you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't have sex for 30 days. That's Ramadan. It's not just fasting.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that, dog.
Yeah.
Shout out to that piece of info. Otherwise, how's your week been? How's your hip-hop week been?
It's been we just came back from Cotton Fest.
Cotton Fest.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Do I? I'm not too sure
About what?
about this year's Cotton Fest.
It was okay. It's just that piano was unnecessary.
You think so?
It was not needed.
So you think the hip-hop, the main stage, is including the Jägermeister stage, which had a lot of the up-and-coming homies on there?
If you look at the performances from Saturday, Casper killed it. Like everyone who killed it, Youngster, AKA, all those guys. What's his name? Blackie.
Yeah.
Everyone who killed it at Cotton
Killed it,
Fest
killed
was a
it.
hip hop artist. So we didn't need the piano gang.
Yeah, but I also felt like they didn't put on the right hip-hop artists onto the main stage. I saw, and I'm on a cape for the homie for now, but I saw Touchline on the other stage, the smaller stage. And I felt like that's a homie who's been working so hard this year. He deserved a primetime slot up there. Maybe even before Blackie, late night. He's been doing enough work for him
Hold on. What's going on? Slim.
Nah,
the other
next
side.
door. It's next door. It's all good.
Okay.
But yeah, I was a bit upset that I saw Touchline on a small stage, bro. And I thought,
so-
and he wasn't the only one, Some of the DJs were there, Shout out my homie Zandy. He was also, they all should have been on main stage for me.
Yeah. Some of these things are organized by people who are not connected to the culture or to the streets, who don't know what's going on. Who still think Touchline is an upcoming rapper that's supposed to be on the smaller stage earlier on in the day.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem. Most of the times you have these office people getting these tenders, but they don't know what's really going on in the culture.
Word, and we need to stop that. Like, we need the people on the ground.
Yeah.
In the ground, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, it made me think about, when is your come up over in South Africa? Like, niggas have been on the come up for years, dog. They still on the smaller stages. And then you have someone like a Blackie who, and with all due respect, came into the game last year.
Yeah.
And he closed Saturday night at Cotton Fest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you've got someone like a Touchline who's been in the game longer who didn't get the main stage like that.
Yeah. What do you think of the squatter camp inclusion?
I thought it was cool, man. Like I said to you, Nane.
Yeah.
I have no problems with Squatter.
Yeah.
But I like old Squatter, and I feel like it was a movement and something that happened back then.
Yeah.
And we don't need it now anymore. There's like younger kids who are on the ground who can come through 7 squad deep and do what Squatter did, just in a different way, in a 2022 way. So it's cool to have them on stage, like a tribute, memory vibes.
No, I think it's cool too, because your Coachella and Summer Jam Spring, they still bring back your KRS or Rakim, like Blast from the Past.
For
once
sure,
in a while.
dog. This makes me think of, today's the 27th, right? It's Freedom Day. My 27th, and I'm sure yours was also the same way. It was always, for the past 6-7 years, was centered around Back to the City.
For the past 15 years. We
15 years.
started Back to the City in 2007. Since every April 27, since 2007, I haven't been anywhere else but in Newtown. It started under the bridge and we moved to Mary Fitzgerald Square. So
Crazy.
I've been doing Back to the City since.
And now you're doing something different now. Yeah, cheers. Shout out to Sampra for bringing us out again.
Yeah, shout out to Sampra.
Yeah,
I'm doing a lot of things, man.
But
I'm
here's
doing
my
a lot of
question
things,
to you,
yeah.
right? I think it's an interesting one. Maybe we'll talk about it with everybody here today. Your best, who was the best performance you ever seen at Back to the City?
Yeah, I can't.
You have to give me one.
I
dog.
can't
I don't want one. Don't give me, he was this. No. Give me one person you feel like fucked it up at Back to the City. For you. A performance you'll never forget.
For me, it will have to be, we were still under the bridge.
Damn.
It will have to be the Lymphatic Tabs.
What? That's wild.
Because it's very difficult to go in front of 20,000 people without a song on radio and kill it. It's easy to go there and like, yeah, because you hear that shit every day on radio, it's on TV.
Well, I got you.
But if you go on stage, your song is not on TV, your song is not on radio, and you kill it, and people shout for encore, then that's it for me.
Oh, he did that?
He did that.
Damn. No, I wasn't there for that. Under the bridge, I've never been to Back to the City under the bridge.
In 2011, we once brought the Unword under the bridge.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Nice. What's the homie's real name?
Waddy Jones.
Waddy Jones. Y'all gave him the Lifetime Achievement Award, which they deserved, I think. You know what I mean? I think the best performance I seen wasn't that long ago, maybe 2016, 2015.
Yeah.
AKA closed up the show.
Yeah.
People were running towards the stage, falling over each other, my nigga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the culture was that crazy. The nigga had that much pull at the time.
Yeah.
And I think the first song he did was Sim Dope. And even today, for me, the performance, me seeing him do that on stage, just made that like my favorite AKA track.
I think every year with every event, you get that extraordinary performance. I remember the other year we had Nasty C. And after Nasty C, we had an American act, Sky Zoo.
Shout out Sky Zoo.
And Sky Zoo drowned.
Really?
Drowned after Nasty C.
Niggas left the stage?
Hey,
Niggas
bruh,
left the floor?
it was like an anticlimax.
Yes.
Like,
For Sky Zoo?
hey, bruh, Nasty C killed it.
Yeah, that's why it's important nowadays, like who you bring from overseas.
Yeah.
Even for the next one, it's happening Heritage Day now, right?
Yeah.
So you guys have to like really consider who you bring, because the hip hop acts we have here now have a huge pull. If we see what happened at Cotton Fest, it just shows that hip hop is way alive. And if you're gonna bring someone from overseas,
Back to the City is gonna be crazy, man. Like, heads are hungry for hip hop.
alright, yeah, we are,
Because
man.
weekend in, weekend out, we go out, we hear people playing the same shit for 4 hours.
Hey, Ntwana.
Yeah.
Whack ass shit.
But let's get to the topic.
Let's move on, man. Let's open up the class, right?
Yeah.
Class is in session. Ring the bell, please.
Poo, 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 poo.
Yo, Before we get into class, just want a big shout out to Solicto Gin. They always out here sponsoring
Our
each and every
sponsor,
episode.
Solicto Gin, it's local. Please support that through Take a Lot. It's also available our neighboring countries like Zim, Botswana, Lesotho.
Word. You
Yeah.
can get that, man. It's really nice. Raw beats as usual. You know, they got our backs with the headsets and the sound. Big shout out to Sampra, AMPD Studios as well.
Yeah,
Taking
for
care
sure.
of us each and every week, man. That's why we're out here doing this thing. It's for the love of hip hop.
It's for the love of the game, man.
What's on your mind, G? What you thinking about? I mean, we're people here today, so
Yeah,
it has to matter.
I decided today we're gonna talk about the masters.
Not the master
Everything,
class.
everything about the masters. What are the masters? Why are they so important? Who owns the masters? How do you get to own the masters? When do you sell the masters? How much are the masters?
Got
We're
you.
gonna talk about all
Got
of
you.
that.
Let's start at the top then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
What makes you want to talk about this? Why do you think it's a conversation that needs to be had, especially in our industry?
Because it's a problem every year with every generation. You can take it back from the Michael Jackson's days. When Pro Kid passed away, there was an issue with the masters. DJ Spoo had to take the masters back to the family. It's always a problem when people leave the label. They no longer allowed to perform the music because they don't own the music. You know, the intellectual property, the ownership, the publishing, all that shit. You know what I mean? And a lot of artists don't know these things, you know?
Got you.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is, though? Why do you think so the problem is not really the business here, because what you're talking about is masters would be the business, right?
Yes.
The biggest issue is that the artists don't know what's supposed to happen once you drop music. You know what I mean? So they don't even know that there's a thing like the masters belong to somebody else. There's all these publishing rights and everything else. They don't know that. They just want to make music. You know what I mean? So how do we now educate people to wanting to be interested in just not the music, but also knowing where your music is going and how it's being distributed?
They need to know, they need to understand the music part of the business. You know, that's what the Masterclass podcast is here for. You know, we're not going to go to every artist and say, do you know anything about percentages and royalties, mechanical royalties, needle time? You know,
No.
most of them don't know shit about that. They only know how to structure 16 bars and a hook and
Yeah.
a bridge. They are the talent.
Yeah. Can we
That-
blame niggas for that though?
You can't blame them entirely because most of them can't afford a team, can't afford a lawyer, they don't have managers, they don't have advisors. They just, most of the time they meet people who want to exploit them.
Word.
You know, I see this guy, I meet this guy, I see the talent, and boom.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And for me as the artist, I see you. I'm just like, okay, you're saying, Rashid, you can help me get my music out there. I don't really care about where my masters go because I don't even know what that is, right? So I just want to make a song and I want to put it out.
Yeah, initially it's like that. As a hungry artist, like I said before, an empty stomach doesn't have a counter offer.
True.
If you come
Facts.
to me and you're hungry, and I say, I have 5,000 rand for you. Give me this, let's do that. And your account is on zero. What's your counter offer?
I can't really say much because also you're giving me 5,000 rand for something I love to do.
Yes, that's how artists get exploited. You know, when you're in the room, in the boardroom, and they say, here's a contract, you can't even say, let me take it to my lawyer because you don't, have a lawyer.
homie. So what should I start reading then? I must be able to read my contract myself. That's a start, really. Just being
Reading
able
your
to read
contract.
and wanting to read my contract.
You need to know what to look out for in a contract because you might know English, but you don't know the legal jargon. Like I said before, should and must to an ordinary person, it's the same thing. I should do this, I must do this. But it's not. When it's on the paper, when they say an artist should, that's a suggestion. When they say an artist must, that's binding.
Yeah, check your mic.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the small things that you need to consult for. Because we all think we know English. But when it comes to legal terms, we don't know shit.
So now I must be able to afford a lawyer. If I can't afford a lawyer, what do I do?
Just know the basics. Just know those small things. Should and must. You must know the percentage in per rands. You know, there's a percent. If you don't understand percent, you must understand per rand.
Okay.
If the company makes 50 rand and you're getting 5%, how much is that 5% in rands? Don't tell me about percentage. Tell me about rands. Okay, for every 50 rand, I get 5 rand. Cool. It's understandable. Then you can divide 1 million into 5 rands, 5 rands, 5 rands. You will know how much you made if you don't understand the percentage. If they say, oh, your contract is 15%, like, okay, cool. How much is that in money language? You know.
So it's just basically being able to make the contract understandable for you.
Yeah.
So you don't need to be like a
contract.
professor.
You don't need
shit.
to be a professor. Another thing, don't sign or initial any page that's written halfway.
What do you mean?
Because you're going to put your signature there and they take it back, they add other clause.
Oh, you've seen that happen? You've seen that happen?
Of course.
For real?
Of course.
What?
So if you get a contract that's written halfway, take a marker and scratch the empty part, then sign it. Don't just sign and take it back because you're going to get fucked big time.
That's wild.
Our music industry were never made to make Africans rich. One of the first companies, like the EMI is English music industry. They don't give a fuck about Africans. They didn't come here to make y'all niggas rich. They came here to take like every other European. So you cannot trust somebody you just met. Bring your own people. Bring your own team.
I hear that.
Yeah.
But the most important thing to remember is that before you can even get to all these issues, your
Yeah.
music has to be dope. You know what I mean? Or you
Yeah.
have to have some music that you trust and believe in before you believe in other people
Yeah.
to help you push this music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pause.
So let's get
Pause.
into
Pause.
word.
Shout out to Zola 7. Grootman is in the building.
Kuluva. Danko. All right.
Thank
Shout
you
out,
so
shout
much
out,
for
man.
coming through.
Appreciate that. All right, so I'm an artist. I make some music in my back room.
Yeah.
I produce my own shit too. And now it's time for me to get my music out there, right? In that situation, when do my masters come into play? And what are my masters in that sense?
The masters are nothing but intellectual property,
Okay.
you know. But it doesn't end there. Just because it is your intellectual property, it doesn't mean that you own
And
it.
I own it, showcase.
Yeah.
I get that. But I'm saying now I'm in my back
And
room,
then-
Mangisho. So
Okay,
I own it for
I'm,
now.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Whoever pays for the recording owns the masters.
Okay.
Whoever pays for the recording. If I go to speaker and say, speaker, I have 500 rand, I need to record a song, I own that song.
Got you. Even if it's at speaker's cribs, a speaker studio.
Yes.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So what companies do, they give you whatever money you need to record so that they can own the masters. And the master's worth more. After some time, there's airplay and this and that.
Depending on the music.
And then you discover that the song that you recorded, you paid 5,000 rand for, is now worth 2 million.
Yeah.
Who owns that? The guy who
do,
paid that
for the
5,000.
recording.
Yes.
All right, so let me put it this way. Now.
Yeah.
I'm a producer.
Yes.
I have a studio, my back room. Rashid, you come to my place to record that.
Yeah.
Right? You don't pay me jack.
Yeah.
And I give you the song, but I own the masters because you recorded it at my spot.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, it does.
Now, when it becomes to the bigger corporates and to the labels, how does that work? They give me money to go record. I pay for studio and whatnot, and then they own my masters.
Either way, you can record a song or the full album on your own, and then you take it to the label and say, I spent 100 grand to record this album or 150 grand to record that album. And then they're going to say, they're going to sign and give you that 100K. After giving that 100K, they own the master. Whatever they do after that has nothing to do with you.
Okay, that I get that, and it makes business sense. I don't think it's like a rocket science. It makes sense. Like if I give you money to go record some shit, I should own a bit of it, right?
Yeah.
So where does the issue come in now, where homies are complaining about their masters and that they had no idea that their masters belong to this place, this person, or this entity, or someone else? You know what I mean? Where does the issue come in? Where do homies make the wrong decision in not being able to own their own property?
It's because once you get signed, they start getting negligent. You're expecting a call every day. Hey, tomorrow morning the studio is booked, you're recording.
Right.
Yeah, come. You don't know how much money was spent to book the studio, to pay the engineer, to buy the beat, all those things. You have no idea. You're going to complain later when the record label takes their money back, you know.
Gotcha.
But the record labels are also shady.
Why you say that?
Because they want to maximize the amount of money they extract from you. They want to get every cent. They can move you from the hood and say, come stay in Midrand. Here's a flat. Here's a flat for you, or here's a house for you. You're thinking you're staying there for free. The day you make your first check, they're going to deduct everything. You've been staying here for 12 months, and every month it costs you 12,000. So we're going to charge you 12,000 rand per month for the past 12 months. And they're going to calculate every other stuff. We flew you to Cape Town to an interview. It cost us this much. We booked you a hotel. It cost you this much. You end up left with 3,700 rand.
And it's all fair game, dog. It's all part of what.
Yeah.
You can't go back, and it all goes back to the contract.
It all goes back to the contract.
Whatever contract you signed, you signed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe there's a half a page missing there.
Yeah.
You signed it. So now let's say I'm independent, dog. You know, I don't have a label that's gonna come take
Record
my money.
labels are loan sharks.
Yeah,
They have mastered the game. That's why no artist has ever won a case against Ambitious.
Because it's business.
Because they have the paperwork. They're like, okay, we did 1, 2, 3. This nigga owes us this much. You know? We know it's unfair. We know it's wrong. But we can't.
It's business.
Yes.
It's just how it works. But also now let's talk from an independent perspective, right? Where I own my masters.
Yeah.
Then in that way, no one can really screw me over. Until I get to a label who's like, okay, we want you plus the other songs that you've made. Right? Can they do that? Because I'm just getting to the label now, but I've got music that's been popping already. You know what I mean?
You charge them for that.
Then I give it to them.
Yes, at a fee, not for free.
Okay.
But you must know that they're going to make more money. The thing is, you can be an artist and own your master, but you don't have the knowledge. You don't know what to do with that master.
You can't move it. It don't mean shit.
Yeah. And when somebody else has it and he knows what to do with it, and he starts making money and you complain. No,
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how do we stop that then? How do we get niggas to understand that?
Information. We need the knowledge. We need the knowledge.
Here's my thing. It's like
When
like
you go there and say, okay, I'm signing to this label for 3 years or for 5 years. What's going to happen to the masters, to the ownership of the music after 5 years when my contract expires?
It's done.
Let's sort that out now.
You can have that conversation.
Yes. But do artists have that conversation?
I don't think so, because like we're saying, artists just want to make music, dog. They don't really care about the shit that goes behind it. But for them,
That's
it
why,
ends up being detrimental.
that's why every artist needs a team. I said this the other time, which is on my t-shirt. Being man of the match doesn't mean you can play alone. You know, just because you're a star in the team, you can't say, fuck the manager, fuck the lawyer, fuck. Because you're going to get fucked in the future. You know what I mean? Being man of the match doesn't mean you can play alone. You know, everybody needs a team.
I hear you. So,
Yeah.
let's move on a bit. The price of masters. How does that work? Pricing of masters. And can I buy them back once they own them? And how much do I charge them to take my masters if I'm good enough to have my masters out there?
You can always get an expert to value them. How much do they cost?
Word.
Because they don't cost the same. You know?
Depending on how successful your music is, I guess. Right?
Yeah. You know when Michael Jackson released Thriller, they offered him $3 for every unit he sells. They were like, how much can this guy sell? 2 million, 3 million at most. But Thriller sold 100 million.
Yeah.
And they couldn't pay Michael Jackson.
Okay.
That's why he got to own publishing for Sony.
Sony, yeah.
He ended up owning that because they couldn't pay him back.
Word.
You know, he sold more than they expected. So the masters can be valued. Like you get an expert, okay, you have 12 songs in your album. They did this and that and that and that. And this is how much they worth. Yeah.
Okay. Then I can go to a record label and be like, yo, this is how much my masters is worth.
Yes.
I'll sell that to you, plus give me a 3-album deal or 3-year deal.
Yeah. Or I can only sell them or lease them to you for 5 years.
Oh, you can lease
After
that shit?
after 5 years, I get my masters back. You can do in these 5 years, you can do whatever you like with these masters, with this.
You know,
music.
from what you're saying,
Yeah.
and what I'm taking is that if you own your own masters and your music isn't dope, at some point it's just going to be worth nothing. Or if your music is dope, you're going to have to sell your masters.
Yeah, and producers as well, beat makers. Do we have beat makers in the house?
Shout out. Eventually they're going to have to sell the masters.
Yeah, okay. Beat makers, you're not producers, you're composers. You're using the wrong term. Yeah. Beat makers are not producers. They are composers. So whoever owns the master, you'll always own 50%. The composer of the music, the beat maker, is entitled to 50% of that song. Whether they paid you or they got that beat for free, it doesn't change anything. You will always own 50%. Whether they use it for adverts or for movies or for played as a song on radio, you always get 50% as a composer, the beat maker, the producer.
For sure, man. I think you must check out episode 6 of the Masterclass podcast. That's where we talk split sheets and contracts.
Yeah.
And the only way that I've seen where beat makers get fucked is that, composers get fucked because they don't put their name down on the piece of paper. So if it's my song, I'm putting myself as the composer, and then you end up getting jack from all of that, and you
Yeah.
should be getting your 50% every time that song makes
Yeah.
a bit of cash. You know, what
I know Speaker gives away a lot of Sotra Cypher beats for free.
You know,
and it
then-
doesn't
and
even
then one day,
register
one of them
them.
are gonna pop, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, try-
You know what I mean?
you don't want your shit
So
back.
another issue is artists dying, and where do the masters go?
Yeah, we
after
spoke
that?
about that as well.
Yeah. So you must always register. If you don't have a will, you can register with SAMRO, the next of kin. It could be your kids, it could be your mother, it could be your wife.
But it's different if you signed, though, right?
Yeah.
If you're under a label, it's different.
No, whether you signed or not, like there are royalties from SAMRO that don't go to the label or to your publisher, that come
Come straight to
directly
you.
to you. So you must assign the next of kin.
Okay, got that.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
with that.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I think to make it engaging, we're gonna have a Q&A.
For sure.
Ask question. There's a mic over there. If you have a question, you just walk there and ask your question. We're gonna try our best to answer that.
And I hope everyone has a little bit more of a perspective on your masters and what
Yeah.
they are, how they work. You know, if you can make money from them or not. But like I always say, good music pushes everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll get your shit together.
Do we have questions? You can just raise your hand. Okay. Sir, with glasses, you can walk to the mic, introduce yourself, and then ask your question.
Sure.
Hola.
Sanbonani. Sandile Mahlangu here, popularly known as Damex. I'm from Duduza. My question is, okay, now I'm with a composer, I'm an artist, I'm with a composer, start a track. And then, I don't know if this question is utata topic is to a different direction, but, and then a publisher comes in, then senza kanjani lapho ngama percentage. Because as it stands, I'm sure him now it's 50-50. Because I believe
Between
the
you
publishers-
and the composer. So you
Yeah.
compose the songs as well.
No, I wrote the song. I'm
Okay.
okay. Artist. And then I'm with Speaker. We just made a song.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So you want to know when the publisher comes in?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, this is what happens. When you sign to the label, you make $1 million, right? And you are signed for 10%. And then 10% of $1 million is 100,000. They're gonna take their 900,000. The split is gonna come from this 100%, from this 10%, sorry. Phones on silent, please. After the record label has taken their 900,000, your 50% as a composer, aka producer, your 50% is in this 100,000, not in $1 million. Do you understand? And that's where the authors and the publishers will all share this little piece.
But that's when you're signed.
Yeah,
And then when you're not signed,
if you're not signed,
you guys just split it equally.
there's a percentage. If your publisher is entitled to 15%, and then they're gonna get 15% of $1 million, and then you get the rest accordingly, according to the percentage. As a composer, you're gonna get 50%, they get 15%, and then the authors and so on.
Make sense? All right.
Yeah. What's up, everybody?
What up, dog?
Yeah. Thank you so much for this masterclass, my gents. We're tired of being broke, so thank you so much. I just wanted to get some clarity, Rashid.
Okay, can you move there? Because we need to capture you, make it easy for the camera. To the stand. Don't move the mic away from the stand. You move to the stand so we can capture you.
All right, sure. So, Rashid, you said if you are the composer, then you are entitled to 50%, right?
Yes.
So, if I go to speaker and then speaker's like, yo, fam, like with 3K, I'm gonna give you the beat. I pay the 3K. Does he still own the 50%?
Yes, it does. Whether you paid for it or not. That 50% is for labor and for his time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
it's not for the product.
Oh, and then in that regard, right? Because
Yeah.
I took out the money. Then who does the masters belong to, Mainjalo?
You.
You know that I like that question because that's like a lot of what happens to the homies where me as a producer, I'm speaker, I can sell you the beat.
Yeah.
And it's done. Then you assume that you own
the
it,
beat.
You know what I mean? And then speaker
just
comes
because
a
you
bit
bought
later.
it doesn't mean you don't have
yours.
to credit. You don't have to credit speaker.
So when does it become mine? How can I take speaker's song like
Listen.
like how DJs do compilations in
Okay.
house music? How can I take that song and make it mine?
It is yours. You own the master.
The master. But I have to give
You have
Speaker his check.
you have a lot of DJs who don't produce, who don't know how to make beats. You have your speedsters
Everyone.
releasing songs.
Everyone.
This is what they do. They buy the beat. They pay for the beat. You know what that makes them?
The owner,
The owner of the masters.
Okay.
And then they get someone, a rapper or a singer, to jump on the beat.
Yeah.
Yes. They own the product. They didn't make the beat, they didn't write the lyrics, but they own the product.
Yeah. And just
Yes.
because they bought the beat or whatever from a
They
DJ,
operate the same way as record companies do.
they don't own it.
They own the masters.
But they
You're
don't
still
own
part
full
of the song.
percentage of the
You
song.
still the composer still gets 50% of royalties
Regardless.
regardless.
Unless they didn't put their name out there as the composer.
And then you, Shady, you must put their name.
What if I'm like, nah, fuck it, I paid him. I paid him 50,000. I'm not
Yo.
putting his name on there.
You bought the beat, you didn't buy.
I paid him for the beats. That's what I'm saying to you. Is that I gave him money so I can put my name as composer of the song.
You are
Which
not.
is what a lot of DJs that
You are not. You are not. You are owner of the master. You own that. You can do whatever you like with that song. You can even
But I still
tell
have to pay
you can even tell the guy who's singing the song that you're not allowed to perform that song. It's yours.
My track.
You
Got
own
you.
it.
Got
Yes.
you. But as the composer, make sure you always get in your check.
Yes.
Got you. All right. Next question, guys.
I have a question, please. Sanmanani,
Hola.
Yebo.
Igama Usiki. I just want to ask, in terms of the composer, you said that even if it plays on TV shows or whatever, a song that is used. For example, if the composer, speaker gives an artist a beat, mpincham for free, ne?
Yeah.
So speaker doesn't register that. It was just a deal between me and speaker.
Yeah.
So I have the beat. Then I do wonders with that beat. With
Did you register
yes,
the song?
I register the song.
But
who
who did you credit as a composer?
Yourself.
Yeah, like
You bought the song.
You're not allowed to do that.
yeah, but speak unkai beat, hangit.
Okay. Yes, it's still speaker's beat. It's still speaker's beat. It's still speaker's beat. You can use it however you like, but it doesn't change that it was made by speaker.
Okay, that's where I'm going. Like speaker ngim register. Then
You're wrong for doing that.
okay, yeah, no, siyavuma-ke
Yeah.
on that part. Then the song is either used for a movie soundtrack or whatever. Can a speaker now come and say, that's my beat. I want to be, what are the rights or what are the legal stuff that speaker needs to know in order to be able to say, I gave Rashid this beat as much as Rashid is now the master owner of the song. How does speaker protect himself in such cases? Sorry, speaker, we're really using your name a lot today.
For the fact that speaker has to do that, it's already wrong. You know, that was supposed to be done
Yeah.
like from the beginning. Like, you're not buying the beat, I'm giving you for free.
Yeah.
But credit me.
But that's what she's asking.
Credit
is that-
me as a
is that-
composer. Speaker, if if Speaker feels that there's money made from this beat that he made and he's not getting anything, he can go straight to Samro and say, I made this beat, withhold every cent, don't pay anyone until this matter is solved.
Okay, but okay, let's say ipiteka speed kane ngiyaithanda mara I feel kunento eshodayo. Then I get somebody else, we rework on the beat. Speaker still usa claim ama rights or manje the other producer like or
Yeah.
boy two.
Yes,
Boy two now must come at me.
he's the original composer. You're not starting anything new. You're working from Speaker's work.
From my experience, can I just say that from what you're saying, a lot of the time, the people that are in those situations
Yeah.
don't have much of a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
If you give me your beat for free, you fucked up already there. You know what I mean? Because I can take that beat and do whatever I want with it. And when you come, you have to have like proper proof and evidence that Samro and these guys can go check out to prove that you made that beat.
Okay, the biggest misconception is that if I give you the beat for free, it means I'm giving away my rights and ownership. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. You know, Dr. Dre gave Mary J. Blige a beat for free, Family Affair. But Dr. Dre had every cent from royalties.
Because
And
she
the
credited
sales,
him.
and the sales, and the sales. It doesn't mean because he gave that beat for free, he doesn't want anything after that.
But it's only because he
She
credited
credited
her.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
She credited him on that beat. That's why he's getting.
It's a
we're
crime.
Talking, we're talking about an instance where you
it's
don't.
a crime not
Yeah,
to credit a person.
Yeah, it is fucked up. It is fucked up.
It's a crime not to
But
credit
like we
a person.
see, Paul, like that's what I'm trying to get at. Like
It's-
it's a gift, received gift. If Speaker gives me a beat, it's mine.
The kids are home.
No, I'm with you on that. It's very
Speaker is
tough for
giving you
Speaker to
a
come
beat
back.
to work on it, to create something out of it, not for you to be a fake producer.
It's yes, morally,
Yes.
but like business-wise, paperwork.
Yeah, that's
It doesn't make sense. Like business-wise paperwork, if Speaker did not sign on that I'm taking this beat from him and I just gave him money for it, or even if I didn't, he gave me as a gift, he can't come back a bit later and say, I want this shit.
Okay,
Unless he can prove it.
artists need to understand that free beats don't mean no credit.
Yes.
Free beats
Yes.
don't mean no credit.
You miscredit the nigga that made the beat.
I'm gonna talk because these people will kill me.
Shout out.
Okay.
Shout out.
Shout out. Yeah, you can face them.
It's an honor to have you here, man. Even talking,
Let's give
it's
yourself
a
round of
bonus.
applause, man.
Guys, for those who live Soweto, there's something a protea called legal aid, which is a lawyer you get for free, which you get your information before the song is even released. And then lo muntu lo will research ngengoma yakho nokuthi izodrojwa nini and izodrojwa ubani. If there are things they need to block, they can block them. But those are things you don't have to pay for. Mara, into engifuna ukuyibuza ukuthi what happened to honesty? Us just being friends. If ungikayi beat from Ikuluva Entertainment, ngikayi beat. If ungikayi beat for free, ngikayi beat for free. If ungikayi beat utsopatalana, ngikayi beat utsopatalana. What happened to honesty? Because I take it, gentlemen, you lose that friend for life.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you've screwed him up and then ngenphinde nizwane. Another thing. A hit is a hit when they say so. They can take umdogo wengoma and make it play every day on radio and they can kill a beautiful song. So at the same time, you must understand, Uguti, I've been listening to nonsense for the past 10 years, if not 20. Umdogo wengoma, but they are hits because they are played on radios, nama video and everything. And the real songs that are done by the real artists are not on radio, are not on TV, So we understand all the time, ukuthi, if you want to start this fight, these people that you're starting a fight with, yabona abantu aba-evil bayakwazi ukusukumela umbhedo and spend 90% on umbhedo, okay? They're gonna take a beautiful song and kill it. We were talking in the car about a couple of artists that should be major artists in this country, and they are not. And I've had all of those artists in my studio, and I don't understand why they are not major artists. And all them dogo artists, bagcwele everywhere. That's all I have to say.
Shout out to that, man. I think it's a big point Utazol is making is that, yeah, we've lost a lot of honesty, dog, because of how the business works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are about themselves because they know that the paperwork defends them. I'm giving you this beat, go do your best. When you come back, you're like, no, but this is what the paperwork says, bro. And you my nigga. You shouldn't be doing that shit to me.
No, you shouldn't.
You should be taking that beat from me and saying, you know what, Speaker made this beat in Palapansi as a composer.
Yeah.
So that whenever I'm cashing some shit, we are hard on our. But nowadays, I'm like, you know what, Uspikum Kaeli beats, whether he's on here, I'm writing my name on this. You know what I mean? And if he comes back years later wanting this beat, it's done for him. He can't do anything about it. And that's where the honesty lies in the music, is that we've lost the honesty in terms of it just becoming a business now. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. I really appreciate it.
Also, please do check. We have an episode on payola. Please do check
Not paid
that.
for by payola.
Yeah.
It's on payola.
Yeah. Please check that episode about what Uputzola just said. Uguti, there are songs that are pop, but they're on radio every day. We have an episode on that. Please check it out.
This nigga said Sister Bettina is trash, by the way. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Sister Bettina is trash.
Sanbonan, guys.
Big dreams.
Awareness, Negrand.
Yeah, we're nice. We're nice.
I just want to add my 2 cents to the production thing. If I've invested equipment in my studio, spent a couple of thousand, I pay for the electricity. I pay for investing in the knowledge to understand how the different softwares work. I try and I spend, you're almost in a lab like a scientist where obviously in order to be good at your craft, you need to put in your 10,000 hours. And so there will be a position where the thing that I don't pay attention to, I will be weak at, like the business. So I feel like it's our responsibility to cover each other's backs as creatives and as creators. Don't use the scavenge mentality. There's many guys that I started also with at the bottom that know what value I paid in their lives, just in my own individual experience. There's many others with that story, but if you come in already looking for loopholes as to how I can scavenge, that's the first South African problem. The second thing is we are weak in the area of business, myself included. Do you know what I'm saying? Where my skill is making people sound great. I'm a great composer. I'm a great lyricist, as an example, as a case study. You know what I'm saying? Not from an egotistical point of view. And I've put in maybe 20 years of investment. Of course, I will be compromised in the area of business. So I feel like organizations like SAMPRA, SAMRO, who are getting salaries and who are making a good living off the art, because at the end of the day, it boils down to the art. I feel like Ambitious is a good case study. Ghetto Rough is a good case study. TS Records is a good case study. Galawa is a good case study. Let them study what goes wrong with the artists, because they're an organization that's, in theory, there to protect the needs of the creators, if I understand correctly what their function is in society. So then, if people get fucked over where managers get concerned, then maybe Samra should have managers. They should look for a criteria where maybe this artist, there should be, it shouldn't be for everybody. They know how to measure, which, okay, this person has put in this much work. Maybe let's have publishers, managers, if they don't already exist. I don't know if they exist. If they already exist, then I'm behind with the information. But if it doesn't, then study the business. What does ambitious have that another artist can't do. Maybe they need the PR. There should be a PR wing in Sambro or Sampra or the organizations. That way we can focus on being the best creatives. The problem is expecting somebody who's always in a lab, finding the formula to also be an expert at running the business, to also be an expert at the publicity, to also be an expert in the public speaking. Which other industry expects that of their experts? Not even in construction. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like we do need the assistance. We do need the business side of the organizations to look a little deeper as to how we can, because it's easy to say, even with the publishing conversation, I had a similar incident where I was like, had an artist who came through and I was producing for them. And then the publishing conversation came up, the 50-50 thing. And then when their legal attorney said the 100% then becomes split. If a publisher comes in the traditional form, a publisher is supposed to help markets. They're supposed to publish. It's like with books. They publish it. They take it to where the industry consumes it. So they have to be paid for their work, as far as I understand. So that 100% that you are speaking of, Rashid, and I stand to be corrected now, then needs to be split. So even if you bought 50% from me and 50% from the artist, the publisher also gets from that 100%. So our share as an artist, unless as an artist I'm willing to be a publisher or a producer, it goes iba incane. I think even I'm unclear because some of the things you are sharing and some of what I've been told before, that's where the confusion is. There's a lot of just minor differences in the information that's being disseminated to the creative world that leaves us vulnerable and puzzled. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel like even workshops like this, that's why I'm like, you know what, pride aside, we don't know shit. A few of us are millionaire and we need more of the experts so that you don't carry on saying, no, an expert can answer. Maybe some of them, if it is possible, they should finance a legal attorney like Abo Graham Kilfilian, Bazwagale, Bastkhaka, so that we're not speculating, we're speaking from actual facts. Because right now, some of us may walk away, myself included, a little still lost, but at least we're learning some more. I don't know if this is helpful or if this is digressing.
It is.
Sure, homie.
It is.
Very much so. I think on my side, with what Dreams is saying, it's very true. Like, we do need the right people from the right organizations. And that's why we're having the workshop today, because we do have some of the right people who are here from Sampra, from a producer's perspective, who can give us the expert advice on it. I think for us as the masterclass, we're here to ask those kinds of questions, like why are people still in the same situation that you might say you're in right now? So the conversation is created here, but there are answers that can be given by the right people. We're here to bring those people here to answer whatever questions you may have. So it really, really makes sense what you're saying. And everyone needs to leave here with something.
And I think we need to understand the differences in royalties. Because the percentage you get from needle time is not the same as the one you get from mechanical royalties. In simple terms, what you get from airplay is different from what you get from sales. The percentage is different. So some people will feel like, I signed for 15%, now I'm being robbed. But no, this money is not for that, it's for this. We need to understand those things, those differences. That, okay, this one was a needle time, it was airplay, it was on a movie, it was a once-off, this one is ongoing. We need to understand all those things because we end up complaining for things we don't understand. Next question, please.
Shout out to everyone. This isn't that Ben. I'm standing here as a parent because I don't have any knowledge behind the music. So my son came to us and said, okay, we saw he's got a talent in composing beats and all that. All we know is that we are funding the talent, meaning that he comes to us and tells us that this is what I want, this is what I need to do in order for me to get to a certain level.
Don't look at it as funding, look at it as nurturing the talent.
Yeah, nurturing the talent per se. Because now he produces beats, he composes beats. And one time I was at our house in the complex, and then now I hear his beat, playing in another car passing by. And I stopped the car. I'm like, this is my son's song. Why are you playing it? Just give us info on how to protect that, because now he's hyped up. He's happy that my song is playing in that car, in that other car. Somebody gets that beat and start producing it. How do we protect that for him? Because he's still young, he's still underage, and just help us in that. How does Sambra work?
That's a come up story. That's a come up
That's
story.
how Rashid started.
Yeah.
That's how it starts, bro.
Rashid's parents have the
Free
same issue.
beats, send them everywhere.
Yeah, you know.
Do stuff, perform for free.
It's the free
Those are
gig.
come up stories. Before you can say, no, I can't do that. When you finally know your worth,
Yeah.
you know, you can do take it or leave it. This is how much I charge for this.
Yeah.
But come up stories, 10,000 hours, you can't avoid that.
Yeah. Also,
You-
just off
yeah.
the point, just like you're saying, you want to nurture the talent, right?
Yes, yes.
But also always be realistic about it. You know what I mean? Like, know what the industry looks like. Try do your own research as parents that are trying to get your son into this position.
Yeah.
And then you can sort of judge what he's good at and what he's not good at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's one of those things of just fully support everything. Sometimes it just might fuck out, you know? So it's up to you as the parents to lead in that sense of knowing that, oh, this is how it works. Let me help you this way. Let me help you that way. We're not killing the talent, but we're being realistic about what this is. I'd hate for your son to have all this talent, think he's the best in the world, get to somewhere where he's told he's not, and then everything you've been nurturing just falls apart, you know?
Okay.
So just always be realistic about what this shit is. You know what I mean? And then you guys should be cool.
Yeah, and whatever he does, whether it pays or not, it must be investment.
Yeah.
You know, when I started on radio, I worked on radio for 6 months for free without a salary.
I worked for a year without a salary on radio.
Yeah, and I've been on radio for 7-8 years now.
Yeah. I mean, for us,
So that was investment that paid off later on.
yeah, that's how we look at it. Even us, me and my wife, we are not looking at it as in he's gonna make money now. We're looking for the future. If his beats, like all the time, we always encourage him and tell him that, you know what, when you make a beat, you must make something that lasts, not something that's gonna be now. But I'm saying, in order for us to protect that for him, in order when he compose those beats, it must be for the future. But now we hear these songs playing somewhere and somebody is pumping it all the time. So how do you
that's
protect it?
what you need to take care of, because there's gonna be sharks who's gonna try to exploit that for their own gain.
Yeah.
Like, talk to your son. Okay, you're giving this guy a free beat. How is that going to benefit you as compared to you giving Rashid a free beat?
Yeah.
You know, you must check the ROI, return of investment, in that situation, whether it's free or not. How is it going to benefit you?
Okay.
Because somebody's going to come and exploit it. He's going to see a kid with a talent and say, yo, give me this beat, I can do this and that. But what's in it for me? Thank you.
Gotcha. Next one.
Thank you very much, guys.
Away.
My name is Sakele Mzalazala. Actually, I've got a book on music rights and business, especially on the topic
Shout out
that
to
you're talking
Sakele.
about.
I have that book. I have that book.
I'm also the head of City Baby in Africa. We're doing digital distribution. I've got 2 questions that I need to throw to you guys. And then also I want to clarify something so that everyone here can live clear when it comes to music business and music rights. You know, Sambra has funded a lot of workshops that I've been doing around. You know, you guys, you don't come to the workshops. You know, that's one thing I want to tell you. The questions that I have for you guys is maybe this. You brought a very important topic because of our industry starts there.
Yeah.
You know, because we've got an industry, and then I always say we've got a business industry. So for us to jump to that other side, the topic starts here. But now the question is, can you please answer what is intellectual property, and also what is copyright? You know, because I believe that if they can get the answer on that, it will be easy for them to understand now going forward. And then the clarity that I want to bring while you're going to be answering that is an artist doesn't write music. You know, if you want to understand your rights and you want to understand the business, you must know that an artist doesn't write music. An artist is a performer. Is that person who goes on stage and perform, who goes to the studio and record. You know, that is why you will get confused with the contracts that you sign, because you signed an artist contract and then you want to claim now as a songwriter. And then secondly, a composer only creates the beat, not the beat maker. Rashid cleared it. I hope you've taken notes on that. When you say you are a composer, it means you only create the music. And then an author is the one who will write the lyrics. The producer is the one who will direct. So if you can start separating yourself in all what I've called, like what I've mentioned now, and understand that you must get your monies as an artist, you must get your monies as a songwriter, you must get your monies as whatever that I've mentioned. And also, lastly, there are only two rights in the industry that we are in. We've got a master right, which we've been talking about, and then we have a publishing right. When I'm saying we have a publishing right, you will ask yourself, where do I fall as a composer? Publisher, there are two publishers. Publishing means ownership. Whatever you've written, you own it. Then it means you are an owner. The only time you will have a publishing company is when you assign those rights of what you've written to that publishing company. So this is clear, this is simple. Let's stop saying this, that, no, it's confusing, it's whatever. Let's try to understand these small little things and also listen, because you need to know what you are. I think that's it for me. Thank you.
100%.
Thank you.
Doug. Awesome questions and some good advice as well. Shout out. What's the name of the book again, Doug? Music Rights with Sake.
Yeah, I have the book.
All right, we'll bring it for the next episode. You can check it out there as well. I think the IP question, I'll put it in the most layman terms that I can, and then Rashid can just elaborate in terms of the technicalities of it. But intellectual property, IP, is literally anything you come up with, you as a person, right? So it can range from music to writing to poetry to
drawing,
architecture, art, anything, even just words like, bekele beke is intellectual property. So anything you can come up with creatively and own, that is IP. That's something that you can register and actually own and have for the rest of your life. When it comes to the music side of it, it's anything. The composer has his own IP, the producer has his own IP, the author has his own IP, and the artists have their own IP. So it's an individual thing, I'd say. You know what I mean? We can bring it together and say, like, we own this IP, but you came up with that, so you own that. It's whatever it is creatively that you can come up with, you can own that as intellectual property.
And because you're working for me and you assign under me, I own your IP.
Yeah, of course. I mean, let me put it this way, right? I work at YFM, right? And shout out to YFM, best company in the world.
Nah, never did.
Everything I create there, and I've been there for 6-7 years now, and everything I've created there, I do not own. You know what I mean? I gave them the IP by being employed by them. You know what I mean? So I come up with the concept, and they like it, but it doesn't belong to me. But if I wasn't working for them and I was doing the Masterclass podcast, this is our IP. No one can come and say, like, yo, you guys need to do it this way. We own this one. But because when you work somewhere, everything you do for them, they own it. If you work at a construction company and you come up with a new design for a brick, it belongs to them. So that's what
You know how I discovered that? When I was working for Red Pepper, I used to produce She's Knees and She's Live, right? So I had my own camera guys on the side. We used to interview artists, the guests, while they were doing their makeup. We used to call it the makeup room.
Gotcha.
I had the double HPs, youngsters, CPTs, everybody. When I was done with that show,
They told you it
They were
doesn't
like-
belong to you, bro.
bruh, you're contracted to us. You recorded this thing
Here.
here at our place, so we own it.
Yeah. And that's generally IP, man.
So I couldn't do anything with that,
Don't belong to you anymore.
you know. So with copyright, copyright is the usage of IP. You know, whether it's sampling or replaying or whatever, that's copyright. You can't use that without the permission of the owner or of the publisher. Whoever owns the IP or controls the IP, you have to go through those people for copyright. We suffer that a lot on the podcast.
Yep.
We do a podcast, we review somebody's song, we play a video, and then we get a notification. Copyright claim. You can't use that.
You can't get paid from that either.
You know what I mean? So all you need is a permission from the owner of the IP for copyright. That's it.
Quick question before we get into the next
Yeah.
one. Is it easy to get, even with sampling, and Big Dreams would know a lot about it, but like, is it easy to get the copyright to the copyright? If you know what I mean.
All you need is permission, clear the sample or whatever, or permission from the publisher or the owner of the IP.
Okay. Which would be the masters in music sense.
Yes, if they give you permission that, okay, you can play my song in your podcast, you can play my video in your podcast, and then it's
but
clear.
how do I get that permission? I have to call up Big Dreams.
Yes.
How do I get that permission?
You call the artist, the publisher, or the owner of the master.
Okay, got you. And then they'll say yes or no.
They'll
And
say
take it
yes or
from
no, and then you use that whatever in written format to say, YouTube, here's the proof. I have a right to use this song.
Got you. All right. I guess I'm hoping everyone understands the difference between copy and IP at the moment.
Yeah, we have an episode on sampling as well. We go deeper onto these things.
Yeah, somewhere in there. It's like
Yeah,
the Masterclass podcast.
Just subscribe to the Masterclass podcast on YouTube.
Gotcha.
We've covered most of these things. Do we still have any question? Yes.
Yo, it's got a lot.
Let's do this.
Good day, everyone. I'm Terminal. We're a digital magazine, and we build digital press kits for any artist or podcasters or anyone. I just want to ask regarding the whole now we're moving digitally.
Yes.
And it's a thing that now we have artists or producers or composers who register their music with BMI. I don't know if you guys heard of BMI. I don't know if you are a partnership with BMI or it's one group or one umbrella. So they register their music with BMI, then they put the music as sort of like no copyright and you can use it and you can do whatever.
Yeah.
So I just want to figure out is that, let's say you do use that music. You are big. You become a big icon or a big celebrity or a big artist. Can that composer change that license?
From the BMI.
From putting it out there as no copyright, meaning that you can use the music.
Let me try to answer that. When you do that, say no copyright, everyone can use it for free.
Yes.
The day you decide to change that, it's not going to affect the previous. It's going to be effective immediately from then moving forward.
Okay.
It's not going to affect me who used it while you said no copyright.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even KRS-One said all his entire catalog is for free. You don't have to clear a sample to sample KRS-One or to use any of his material. You know, when he decides to change, it will be from that date moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, understood.
I think from what I know, also what we've spoken about it in an episode, is that there are certain musicians whose music is for no copyright after a certain amount of time that they've been dead. So a lot of people believe that it's like, oh, if Michael Jackson dies today, we can start using. No. You can start using his music for free
50 years
after
death.
he dies.
Yeah.
So you can start sampling from, you can sample like, Elvis and then
That's why you can use Beethoven.
Yeah, you can do that. That's
Mozart.
You can even
for free.
use the keys that they use. You know what I mean? And the cues and shit. You can use that for free.
Louis Armstrong died in 1975. How many years now?
It's over 50.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. Maths is not my shit anyway.
Yeah. How many years?
You got it.
Oh, it's 70 in America. No,
Okay,
here
those
it's
are the
50
facts.
years. In South Africa, it's 50 years.
But for the rest of the world, 70 years.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
After, then it becomes a public domain.
Got you.
That's why gospel songs are the same, because
You can do that. You can.
gospel songs were
start
written
singing all
in
you
the
want,
1700s. So you don't have to sample Avulehila Masam. You can do your own rendition for free.
Mr. Now we're gonna wait. Hey, okay, cool. Next question. You're not saying
Yeah.
that shit.
Sanibonani.
Hola, hola.
My name is Nature Ngwemitrente. I'm an Amapiano artist. I'm Hollywood essay, right? My question based on termination of the contract and sabotage also.
Yeah.
So my question is, actually, I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about myself. Yeah.
Yes, let's do that, dog.
Yeah.
I do have a publishing deal. I do have a distribution deal. I cannot mention the label. So what I want to know now, how do I terminate the contract with the label because of
That's a good question.
because I was supposed to release my album last year, but the label Batola nje, so I cannot proceed with this other major label so that I can be able to release my album. I'm stuck. I'm in a place of darkness because of I had to communicate with Sony last year, but I was scared because of I've signed a publishing deal with this label and also with a distribution deal. So I need a clue and clarity of how do I get out of this because of it's wasting my time also.
Got you.
Yeah.
Rashid, you can go first.
You need to go back to your contract. If you find anything that says breach of contract, then you're free to go.
But you gotta look.
Yeah. If they haven't done anything wrong, you'll have to pay for the remaining period
Of the so here's how
of
it
the
works,
contract.
right? From what I know,
Yeah.
is that, and this is in any other business, not just hip hop and music.
Yeah.
But if you're in a contract situation, publishing or distribution or whatever,
Yeah.
and you want to leave, and they've invested in you already for a year or two, you're gonna have to pay them all that money that you still they haven't paid you
For the remaining
for the
duration.
remaining of the contract.
Yeah.
Then you're free to go. Then you can go do whatever you want. But until then, you need to do that. You need to
Yeah.
give them theirs, and then you'll get yours.
Unless they breach the contract, there's a breach of contract, then you can get away scot-free. If they haven't breached the contract, then you have to pay for the remainder
Or you just have to do the rest of the contract.
and sit it out if you can't afford it.
So because of now, I think it's been 6 months without the management. So it don't affect my career in case I get another deals from other major labels.
Go back to your contract, read it again, and check what it says.
It shouldn't. But I'm going to go back to what I've been saying this whole
Yeah.
time, guys. And as much as we can have these conversations about publishing and whatnot, but if the music isn't good, you already have an issue right there. Like it starts with the project, the work, the product, you know what I mean? Like that's what's going to have you in these conversations, you know what I mean? Chances are, and I'm going to be real with you, is the reason why they're not trying to work with you, they're not liking the music. You know what I mean? If they liked the music, your shit would have been out long ago, without a doubt. But now they're giving you shitty attitude, they're treating you a different way.
Excuses.
Yeah, like crap that labels do. Is now making you feel when you want to leave, and you can't leave because you contracted. You have to pay these guys before you can dip, dog.
Can we wrap it up?
Please, let's wrap it up.
Can we wrap it up?
Okay, thank you very much. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you. Last question.
Sup everyone.
Quick one.
My name is Brains Shedemez, artist, producer, composer. I wanted to ask, so if a label is coming at me and I have my own company, I've signed to myself basically, and a label is coming to me, can I rather than lease, or to my understanding, lease my services, as in my product, my music, to the label contractually, instead of me directly signing to them?
Okay, you need to, when it comes to music, you need to understand all types of different contracts.
Okay.
You know, artist deal, licensing deal, distribution deal,
Publishing.
P&D, publishing, and distribution. You need to understand all those deals, how they work, and the company that you're dealing with.
Okay.
You know, the types of deals. You can't negotiate on something that's out of their spectrum.
Okay.
You need to understand, okay, this company deals with this and that, so I can approach them for 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
anything is doable as long as within the parameters.
Okay. I just want to know, so how does that protect me more effectively as an artist, or am I in the same position as simply an artist signing another contract, be it artist, be it as you said before?
There's nothing protects you. If I'm a company, the contract that I draw will protect me first. That's why you need to take your contract to your lawyer.
Okay.
Because if you're going to sign on the spot, you're signing yourself to me.
Yeah, that's blind.
You know?
Yeah, blind faith.
Yeah. It was drawn by my lawyer to favor me.
So you need to review it and see it.
You have to read, dog. You have to read. Rappers need to read. Rappers need to read.
Take it to
Artists
your lawyer.
need to read.
Ask
Composers
them
need
to
to
say,
read.
can you guys please give me 2 weeks with this contract?
Yes.
Okay, shit. I didn't know I could ask for that long even to...
You can, bro.
Yeah, you can.
Please, what you guys must also remember, nah, when someone's coming to you with some shit, they need you more than you need them. So by that time, consider the fact that you are the person they want. Ask for the things you need for them to get the person they want.
Oh, shit. Because
It's easier when they approach you than you approaching them.
Yes. When you approach,
when they approach you, everything is on your terms.
Yes. It's on you. They want you.
Yeah.
They want you. But if you're going to them, it's like, he's nice. But like, let's see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we'll see how far we can push this nigga. But if they come into you, it's already done. Like, it's now up to you to make sure that the deal happens properly at your pace as well.
Yo, man, let's wrap it up.
done.
The workshop is still going to have Q&A, so we're not done. We're not done.
We were supposed to review A. Reese's album,
Yeah.
The Burning Tree, but we're not going to do that.
Nah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Aris. The Burning Tree album is out.
That's out, episode 40.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for pulling up. Can we have a round of applause, please? Just for everyone here. We as the masterclass, we really appreciate your time, man. You guys didn't have to fucking be here, but you were here, and we really appreciate that. We're just gonna go bigger and better, and just keep it tuned to the YouTube channel. We're here.
I'm from the old school, you know me, all about the culture, like Rashid and OG. Like, subscribe, and tell your whole street. Load this next episode with love for the whole team. Yeah, let's get serious for the free period, and drop a link in the comments, cause we hearing it. Shout out to OG, shout out to Rash K, set a new standard. Other bars in the ashtray.